Welcome, everyone, to Southern Virginia University Women's Soccer here from the fields at Southern Virginia University. I'm Jim Bresnahan, joined by Mike Harmon, getting ready to bring you our final soccer doubleheader of this 2015 soccer season. First, the women's game, followed by the men's game, and the competition comes from Marymount. The Marymount Saints, as you see right there. Marymount comes in with a record overall, Mike, of 4-10, 0-6 in the Capital Conference. The Knights come in 3-12 overall, also 0-6 in the Capital Conference. So hopefully somebody today will walk away with a victory and we won't see a double overtime draw as the Knights try to snap this losing streak. You know, the women have lost, I believe, 7 in a row. The men have lost 8 in a row. Both teams have been struggling with shutouts, the men's and women's soccer team, here in the last few weeks.
Yeah, the offense has been really struggling to find any type of continuity. I think a lot of the young ladies that have been injured throughout the season are starting to come back, so there may be a little bit more continuity, and trying to get this home win is first and foremost on their mind.
Yeah, as we mentioned, the women have had a tough time winning here recently. Haven't won since that Avery game on September the 22nd. They are in the midst of a 7-game losing streak, Mike, and in those 7 losses, they have been shut out 5 times. And for the men, of course, they haven't won since that 1-0 victory over Ferrum. They have lost 8 in a row. And in that 8-game losing streak, they've been shut out 6 times.
Yeah, just a lot of different pieces and parts being put together in different areas. Not a lot of continuity. Both coaches I talked to today, and they just kind of threw their arms up in the air and like, what can you do? Hopefully, though, we see tonight a lot of good things from the Knights. Both games are very winnable and even, and we hope that we see just a win come out of this, at least this first game. Like you said, no double overtime tie.
And it is a senior night. We just saw the starting lineups, Mike, for the Knights announced, and saw a couple of seniors there. Obviously, Jackie Barlow, Alicia Blackham, another senior, and Zoe Bradshaw, who's been injured this fall, obviously the third senior on this team.
Yeah, we'll go through with the starting lineups now for the Knights. In goal will be number 33, Savannah Uri. Then we have number 3, Mackenzie Cottle. Number 4, Sierra Sorensen. Number 10, Zoe Bradshaw. Number 11, Cammie Miller. Number 17, Shaylee Nakamoto. Number 18, Tatiana Monson. Number 22, Alicia Blackham. Number 27, Savannah Pulliam. Number 30, Jackie Barlow. And number 32, Lauren Hatchett.
And good to see Zoe Bradshaw out there for senior day.
Yes, we'll see how many times she hits the ground and makes some counts, as we know that happens to her a lot. She's a very active player. We see her in women's lacrosse too, going through and just gives all she's got. Really happy that her foot was able to get out of the boot and she got the all clear to get in this game.
Knights are coming off a really tough loss. The women's soccer team is on the road last Saturday, October the 17th at Penn State Harrisburg. Fell behind early, and the lead for Harrisburg just continued to mount, and they ended up losing that game on Saturday 8-0, Mike.
Yeah, and that's one of those games that when things started to go wrong, they just really went wrong for the Knights, and they couldn't really right the ship. Hopefully that's just a mirage that's left in the past, and they move forward from that game.
And they're facing a Marymount team again that is 4-10 overall, 0-6 in the Capital Conference, but they've lost some close games.
They've lost some very close games, and have 2 goal scorers, number 7, Chloe McAuliffe, and number 8, Caroline Phillips, number 9, Kristen Campbell, who have outscored the Knights by themselves. Chloe has scored 7 goals, and Kirsten has scored 6. So those 2 young ladies able to put a lot of goals up on the board, and the Knights are going to have to watch them.
Yeah, we were taking a look at it. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the women's team has scored 10 goals in 15 games. The men have scored 5 goals in 14 games.
And there's not a lot of winning that can happen there if you're scoring less than a goal a game.
And what's really surprising, Mike, I guess to a certain degree, would be the women's team. You know, that 4-goal outburst against Averett in the first half against Averett, we all thought maybe the offense was going to explode in the second half of the season, but it's been the exact opposite. And needless to say, play has been very tough in the Capital Conference here in 2015 for the women's soccer team.
It has, and there's a couple watershed games that if it would have bounced, a goal would have bounced their way, or a goal would have bounced the opposite way for another team.
Certainly the Wesley game.
Wesley game is the one I was thinking of that could have changed really the outcome of a lot of other games that come up.
And that was not just the result, a 2-1 loss in overtime to Wesley a few weeks ago, Mike, as the player from Marymount got hit straight in the face. And you hope that's not a broken nose or anything of that nature. It was a teammate, I think, Mike, kicking it to her or kicking it in her general direction, and the ball just hit her smack dab in the face.
Yeah, that's one of the
And that was very close.
Yeah, she was within about 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah.
And, that's one of the dangers of playing soccer. You have no real protection there, and you're hoping that she's going to be all right. Maybe it's just one of those that stunned her a little bit.
Looks that way.
Good to see number 13, Rebecca Kransky, up.
And she'll stay out there, which is even better to see. So we were talking about that Wesley game, and not just that they lost the game in overtime 2-1, but they were playing so well in that first half, had the one goal, had several near misses, if I recall, by Tatiana Monson. In other words, could have had easily 2 or 3 goals in that game. So, again, it was kind of like the Averett first half. You expected the offense to really get rolling, not just in the second half of those games, but also the rest of the season, just the final few games of the season, and that really hadn't happened.
Well, yeah, and what was even more frustrating, not for just all those that are watching it, but I'm sure for the players, is they had a great chance to score the first goal in that overtime against Wesley.
Right, yeah.
And then lost on a counterattack that just came out of no place.
Not to mention, I think a mistake by the Knights actually helped Wesley get that winning goal.
Well, there's a long over-the-top pass, a through pass there. Alicia Blackham's able to get back and head that off, but that's been the problem that the Knights have faced all season long, is really not being able to handle a long through ball, as we see of that long pass make it through. And that's something that the Knights have to really be aware of, not only defensively but offensively. If they will control the ball more and possess the ball more, then teams don't have a chance to do that against them.
So at 0-6 in the conference, Mike, they've got 3 more games coming up, including this one today. This is their final home game for the women. They still have road games coming up on the 24th at York and also October the 27th at Frostburg. What do you feel that Coach Rock and the women want to accomplish here? Obviously, they want to, on Senior Day, wrap things up with a home victory and then maybe go on the road and try to at least get one win on the road.
Well, again, trying to go into next season, because that's what you're playing for right now, is you're trying to play for next season. Got the corner kick here.
Zoe Bradshaw, header, trying to get it to a teammate.
But they're trying to play for next year, setting things up and getting into a rhythm and say, this is what could have been if we didn't have all these injuries that just weren't able to be planned for or foreseen.
And we saw the glimpses. Again, the first half against Wesley, the first half against Averett, which Coach Groverock said they didn't play particularly well, and then the defensive second half against Averett, where they played better and were able to clinch the victory by holding Averett scoreless in the second half.
Yeah, again, a lot of glimpses and flashes from the offensive side, and we've seen a lot of stellar work by necessity from the defense, but hopefully they can put it all together. Nice chip.
Shot on goal by Blackham, but goalkeeper right there to make the save. First shot on goal of the game, I believe, and a corner kick. So the Knights have a corner kick and potentially a shot on goal here in the first few minutes, Mike.
And again, it's going to be really vital that they control and possess the ball as much as possible to give the defense a lot of rest. We've seen the defense kind of wear out as the game progresses into the second half because they're always chasing the ball. So that puts a lot of pressure on the Knights offense to keep the ball in their end. And
in the second game coming up, the second game in this doubleheader, the men's soccer game, it'll be their next to last home game because they've got a home game coming up against Salisbury on Monday, the 26th at 4 o'clock. But certainly the men in game number 2 tonight, they want to pick up their first home victory of the season and snap their long losing streak.
Yeah, and they're going to do it without one of their team captains, Josh Smith, who's out with a concussion.
And they'll be facing a Marymount team that's pretty good.
Yeah, so
not record-wise, but pretty good when you look at their box scores.
Yeah, they've been in a lot of games. Haven't been blown out, just right there again, kind of like the women's team, right there until the very end, and then something happens to take the effort and win away from them.
Been a tough fall, Mike, when you look at some of the team sports. The soccer teams on losing streaks, volleyball, a lot of injuries, and they've had a rough time here recently. And, of course, football, 0-6. They've got William Patterson coming up on Saturday before they return home against Kane, October the 31st.
Yes, and again, the theme has been throughout a lot of ineptness on the offensive end. That's all we can say, and it's put on so much pressure on the defense that the defense wears out as the game goes on, and that's why we see these large margins of victory, because the defense just can't do it all the time.
McFadden is in. We saw her in the Avery game score a couple of goals in the first half, and we were expecting her to explode offensively, and she's had some nice goals since then, but much like the rest of the team, just been held down a little bit.
Yeah, and again, with the injuries, with the lack of continuity, with trying to learn new people playing beside you, having to play out of position, it's taken a lot.
Nice
pass through to Mackenzie Cottle.
Cottle got a step on the defender.
That should be a
foul.
And it is.
It is.
It's going to be a penalty kick for the Knights. Great job by Mackenzie Cottle.
Good to see the referee rush in there from the left side to make that call, because for a second there you wondered if that call was coming or not.
That was a great pass through. Mackenzie Cottle.
Now, how will she set this up here, Mike?
Well, Tatiana's going to take it, and we're going to look and see if she's going to be able to bring it probably to her right side.
Tatiana. Great goal! Right to the left of the goalkeeper, right side of the goal, and Tatiana gets the opening goal today, and the Knights strike first and get the 1-0 lead. And you got to credit Tatiana Monson for the pass, Cottle for making the play to pick up the penalty shot, and then Tatiana for the goal.
Well, that was what we were hoping to see all season long, was these players being able to hit each other in stride. Just hadn't been able to see it because of the different injuries and people playing out of position. Again, another flashes of brilliance. Hopefully the Knights have been able to put it together. Coach Garrock said they've had 2 great practices the last couple of nights, and hopefully this is just a sign of things to come for these next, not only this game, but the next 2 games. And
it really was a great pass by Tatiana, but also good play by Cotto. I know she didn't get the shot off, but she was able to maintain control of the ball and stay ahead of the defender, forcing basically the defender to make that the penalty.
Yeah, each one of them had a huge part in that play. Mackenzie Cottle really did a great job of shielding off and being able to catch up to that ball and catch right in stride. If she would have given up on the ball, there would have been no chance for that foul to be called. But she was strong enough to body him off and then accept the punishment. 2 or 3 times she got nudged, and then finally went down with a push in the back. So
now, we know when the Knights have given up goals, they have been prone to giving up goals in flurries, and now you hope it's the other way. After getting a goal, maybe they can go on a little scoring flurry here, maybe take a 2 or 3 goal lead.
It'd be nice to see them score 4 goals in the first half like they did against Averett, but not give up the 3 that they did.
In that game, of course, Jamila Gambi got 2 goals with over-the-top passes, breakout passes, and then the other 2 by McFadden. Here, Monson on a penalty kick has given the Knights a 1-0 lead.
Well, and I hope what the Knights learn from that is when they possess the ball and make smart passes and keep the field spread out, that they're going to have chances going down the middle of the field.
You know, we talked about maybe the Knights at times fragile confidence because of the lack of offense and the injuries, and on the flip side, you wonder about Marymount. They come in again 0-6. They've had some tough losses. You wonder, basically, you know, from a confidence standpoint, if they get behind, what's their confidence level for catching up? As we have another corner kick from the right side. Knights trying to get in and can't. Close, though, Mike. Very close by Cottle that time.
Very close. Well, I think it went off the head of either McFadden or maybe Pulliam. I can't tell who's down there, but that was a great corner kick by Alicia Blackham.
Now Monson will take the next one.
Yeah, the ball went right over the top.
She's going to take it herself. Nice pass, knocked out of there by one of the Saints. So Monson rushed that one in as opposed to kicking it in from the right side, Mike.
Yeah, trying to start it quickly there and catch Marymount napping a little bit.
Good defensive play by Cottle to stymie the Marymount offensive, at least temporarily. Now McFadden's got it as the Knights try to go on offense. Another problem the Knights have had, maintaining control of the ball, passing from teammate to teammate, and that's something they're hoping to address here today. As Blackham is able to get back for the ball.
Foul on the Saints. Again, though, That one thing that's plagued the Knights defense all year long is those through balls straight down the middle of the field. Knights really have to be aware of that. The best way to defend that is to possess the ball on the other end.
True enough. And it happens when you think they're playing good defense, boom, a pass comes. It can happen in a heartbeat as the Knights work it up the left side.
Oh, that's a nice pass to Cottle. Looks like she was trying to get it through to Monson.
Does on the left side.
Oh,
Close
nice.
play by Monson. Kick.
And
into the
in.
goal. Was that Barlow, I think?
Looks like it was Barlow. It was a great play by the goalie to block Monson's first shot, but Barlow.
Two Knights were right there to make the play.
And this is something that we haven't seen from the offense of having multiple players around the net. It's usually one way out in front of everybody and then everybody else trying to collapse in.
And as we've noticed here in the first 10 minutes, Mike, it's all been on the Marymount defensive side of the field in front of the Marymount goal. Hardly any action, and you like to see it for the first 10 minutes for Savannah Uriah.
Oh, and I'm sure she's not complaining after the day that she had last Saturday.
Now the question becomes, can the Knights continue to build upon this lead and make sure that they don't allow anything that allows Marymount to try to get back in the game?
Well, I know that these young ladies are hungry for goals. They haven't scored the amount of goals that they did last year, and so I don't think they're going to be satisfied with just 2 goals.
And they're hungry for home victories, although they have had 3 home victories this season. All their victories have come at home. No wins on the road, Mike, whereas the men have their one and only victory on the road and no victories at home.
And you're supposed to be able to really defend your home area. That's something that the Knights will want to work on next year. Long through pass.
Right side. It trickles towards the goal.
Great job
great
by
play.
Hatchett.
Hatchett able to get there barely in time to knock it away. And Uriah did a good job too, Mike, stopping it and slowing that ball down. But you got to credit Hatchett for just barely getting there. You don't have instant replay. I'd be curious to know if that's a matter of inches or no more than a foot from going across the goal line.
Yeah, the ball has to be completely across the goal line. She got it, I think, it was probably halfway over the goal line. A great effort by Lauren Hatchett.
And again, Savannah Uriah was able to slow it down just enough to making a defensive play.
But that's those through balls that come straight down the middle of the field that the Knights really haven't been able to defend against all season long. And again, it starts with the midfielders. It starts with the offense possessing the ball longer periods of time.
And you have to hope, Mike, and have to really strive to make sure that that was Marymount's one good, best look of the game as opposed to one of many looks.
Yeah, we would like to see the ball back down the other field now, ladies.
Savannah punching that one. Knights trying to work it out.
Nice hitter by Jackie Barlow.
Who then takes it and starts it the other way. Cottle trying to work it up and had it stripped away. So the Knights have exploded for a couple of goals here in the first 13 minutes. And dodged a bullet from Marymount.
And that's the kind of defense that you can play, that make-up defense and that catch-up closing speed. You can do that if you're not chasing the ball all the time.
Sorensen trying to clear it. Had it knocked right back. Hatchett right there again, though.
Now, you don't want to make a mistake with your passes right there in the middle of the field, in the middle of the box. Could lead to disaster.
You know, I'm sure in the second half and into halftime we'll talk more about the 3 seniors, but they are going to be sorely missed. Barlow, obviously Zoe Bradshaw, and as you mentioned, I think a few weeks ago, Mike Blackham. Blackham, a name that has obviously been tied to women's soccer and soccer in general here at Southern Virginia for several years now.
Several years. Her sister was here for 4 years. Alicia's been here for 4 years, and just a fantastic young lady. Alicia is. We had her in here the other day in between games. She was talking with us. Asked if she wanted to get on the microphones with us, and she begged to differ with our opinion that she would do good at it. But
well, they always say that.
But she did the next best thing and said, "Tell Mom and Dad I said hello." So, you know, always thinking of her family too.
Well, we got the Blackham Classic that we had back in September too, so you wonder if there's any more Blackhams coming this way. Sorensen passing up the right side to Tatiana.
Oh, nice ball through.
To McFadden, and she scores. And suddenly, it is 3 goals in just about 15 minutes. And another pass, another great assist from Tatiana Monson. You know, every time you see a shot like that, you got to make sure no offsides.
Yeah.
But it's 3 goals now, Mike, in 15 minutes.
And it seems like.
And you wonder if the Knights are headed for something that they underwent on Saturday, maybe an 8-0 victory as opposed to an 8-0 loss.
Well, you know, when you start thinking about sportsmanship, fair play, and let's not run the score up, but you know, these ladies have been on the other end of it, and they're just playing as hard as they can to finish out the season as strong as they can. And you know, if they get one more goal, or they get 5 more goals.
I'd be thinking about the Avery game though, because Avery was able to come back after they struck for a couple of early goals, and it went back and forth in that first half. And that's the thing you don't want to see here in the final 29 minutes, Mike, is allowing Marymount a couple of goals to have a back and forth affair.
Well, again, like we said earlier, the best defense for those long through balls is a strong offense to possess the ball and keep the defense as fresh as possible. That way in the second half, their legs are there for them to chase anything down that may get close to the goal.
Well, you look at the numbers so far, and the stats really do dominate for Southern Virginia. They've had corner kicks in this first half, lots of shots on goal, obviously, 3 goals. Marymount has had 1 chance at it, and a great play turned in by Hatchett to keep the Marymount shot there from going into the goal. But we got a long way to go in this one.
We do, but this is some great action that we've been able to see in the first 20 minutes of the game. Something that we haven't seen in multiple games, this much action on the offensive end for the Knights. We've seen a lot of action on the defensive end.
I'm sure Coach Grottorock, if this all holds up, the only downside is he'll say is, boy, it would be nice to see this earlier than senior day, but hey, better late than never.
Well, yeah, a win right now for him is a win, and he's going to take it any way he can get it, whether it's by scoring multiple goals or a 1-0.
Well, it'd be a great way to send the seniors out at home, and certainly it would be good for the underclassmen, not just for next year, but really because we've got to remember there's 2 more games left in the season after today.
Yeah, and you're trying to build. You're trying to get that continuity, that excitement for soccer for next season also by saying, look, ladies, this is what we can do when we're all healthy and we're all together.
And we'll see what Marymount is able to do here, Mike, going forward, if they're able to make a push or if a 3-goal deficit is just too much for them to overcome.
Well, we're hoping that it's more than just a 3-goal deficit.
Well, you mentioned they've had some close losses this year. So I'm sure they came in here thinking, hey, we got a chance here to grab our first capital victory, and suddenly 3-0 down with still lots of time to go in the first half. You wonder what their demeanor might be like.
Well, both teams have been struggling this year. We talked about that earlier on. I don't think any amount of goals is going to stop either team from playing as hard as they can. They've been on the upper side of some wins. They've been on lower sides of some wins, and so they're going to continue to play no matter what. I don't think at this juncture in the season that a 3-goal deficit or a 3-goal being up by 3 is going to keep either team from playing as hard as they can.
You know, the Knights coming up on Saturday, they go to York. That's a winnable contest, even though Frostburg at the very end of the season, coming up on the 27th, will be a tough match.
That will be a tough match for them. But if they play this way, if they can pass the ball and possess the ball at least the majority of the time, they can come out from Frostburg with a great win.
Knights trying to clear here. Monson gets it out of there. Yeah, you can picture the Knights winning the last 3 games, and then they'll really be thinking about some of those games that got away earlier in the season.
Well, and then they'll also they'll be playing the what-if game with themselves. I know Coach Grottorock has already been playing
the Wesley one comes to mind more than
the Wesley game. And what if Monson and Gambee and Barlow and Blackham and we could just go on down the list. What if they weren't injured during the season and they were able to play together for the whole season, especially in the early part of the year? What kind of continuity and chemistry could we have seen, and maybe see this more often, this 3-goal lead?
Because really at home, the only game they fell behind early, I think, was the Salisbury game, wasn't it, where they gave up 3 goals in the first 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Salisbury came out just on fire. They just blitzed them, kind of like the Knights have done to Marymount now. But after those 3 goals, the defense settled in. Again, the offense wasn't able to really produce a lot, but just not being.
And Gamby checking in. And we'll see if Jamila maybe can get into the scoring act.
Oh, I'm sure she's been sitting over on the side going, Coach, let me in, let me in, let me in.
Well, obviously it's been a great team first half, but if you had to pick out one player who's really made contributions, it would be Taniana with those assists. And, of course, the first goal.
So she's scored a lot of points for the Knights.
And after the year she had last year with those 17 goals, boy, you'd love to see her close her junior year in such a fashion.
Yeah. Any way that right now that she can help her team be successful, a win's a win to her. She'll be happy. This is just icing on the cake, being able to get some goals.
Hopefully the men are watching this first half, and they're gearing up for game number 2. But as you mentioned, with Josh Smith out, that makes a difficult job even tougher.
Yeah, now the Knights are getting more people in different areas and different roles to play.
Here's a good pass up the left side of Jamila. She tries to angle for a shot, gets bumped off. Bodies go down, and we have a whistle.
And who are they going to call that foul on? Must be on Jamila that they called it on.
Knights have 4 shots on goal, 1 shot on goal so far for Marymount, and a nice advantage, too, in corner kicks for the Knights.
And we've seen all season long the teams that really manufacture the most corner kicks are the ones that go on to win the game. They may not score a lot of goals off
we'd
their
have
corner
to check
kicks,
the box scores, but this might be potentially the first game that the Knights actually had an advantage in corner kicks.
Yes.
I mean, from start to finish.
From start to finish.
I have to check all the box scores, maybe especially that Avery game. But I would imagine very few games, if any, the Knights have ended the game with more corner kicks. Monson trying to work through traffic. Nice pass to the right side, a little too far, though. Chased down by McFadden. Nice stop move there. Gets it over to Blackham. Sorensen. Looks like she got pushed from behind. McFadden trying to get it over to the left.
But again, a lot of time down in the offensive end that keeps the defense really fresh.
And very tough for Marymount to score when the Knights keep it on the right side of the field.
Exactly. I know Coach Darroch is very defensive-minded, but right now the best defense for the Knights is their offense.
And Jamila trying to stop on the dime, loses it out of bounds.
Well, if the Knights can make it through this next 22 minutes and only really face maybe 3 more threats by Marymount, that defense is going to be so well rested for the second half that it's going to be really tough for Marymount to mount any type of charge to get through them.
Then the only question, if we don't have any more scoring, let's say in this first half, we've got a long way to go, obviously, Mike, but if the score is the score at halftime, then the question becomes for Coach Garrock, okay, do we really go at him in the second half, or do we hang back a little bit?
Well, I subscribe to the school of if it's not broke, don't fix it. So you've just scored 3 goals, more goals than you've scored in the last, 5 or 6 games. Keep attacking.
Looks like maybe Ann Powell's getting ready to check in for the Knights here.
And that's another player that's missed some time for the Knights after doing a really great job on that as a defender.
Have to see if maybe Zoe Bradshaw gets back in there in the second half for a few minutes. And you wonder how this season might have gone if Zoe had been a little bit more healthy, played in more action.
Oh, here's a
nice
great ball
to
through to
Gamby.
It's
gets
one
there
on
first. Fires high and
just
over.
high.
Boy, the goalkeeper came out and kind of forced that shot, but Jamila still had enough time to really settle it down, Mike, and maybe rushed it just a tad, and as a result, shot it too high.
Yeah, she rushed that shot. She knows, you saw the 2 thumbs up. She knows that she had a little bit more time. She got kind of caught in between. The goalkeeper was in no man's land. Came halfway
the
out.
The goalkeeper looked like he came out. She came out and then came back and then came back out a little bit, and as a result, never really got on top of the ball.
Yeah, Westmark was just kind of in no man's land, and Gambine knows that. But again, another great attack on goal by the Knights. A through ball that over the top to Jamila, who just used her athletic ability to run by everybody.
And when you have a game like this and you see an opportunity like that, you just assume, hey, that's a goal.
But if there's one thing we've learned this season, you cannot assume anything in the game of soccer.
Well, we mentioned Jamila came in looking to get involved in the offense, and she had a chance there.
Well, I don't think that'll be her only chance in this game. Again, the Knights have come out playing really well. Again, Coach Cryrock has said that they had 2 great practices leading up to this game, so they're wanting to rectify some of the problems that they've faced all season long.
And Mike, I know obviously this is senior day, and we've still got 2 more road contests on the schedule to wrap up the season. But when you look ahead to the 2016 season, I'm guessing not necessarily just because people are underclassmen won't mean that they'll be back out there next season playing, but let's just look down the list of underclassmen, and we don't know who the recruits, the new people might be, but how do you size up if everybody who's underclassmen comes back out there for 2016?
If they get the majority of the underclassmen back, here's almost an attack on goal, but Uriah is able to get out quickly. If they get most of their nucleus back, this is going to be a very strong team, not just physically but mentally because of all the turmoil that they went through this season.
And would you anticipate most of the underclassmen coming back to play on next year's team?
You would hope so. Really, the women's soccer has been one of the better sports to retain a lot of their athletes. With only 3 seniors coming in
well, what might be some of the reasons they don't come? Academics, or maybe multiple sport athletes in some cases, like a Jamila Gambi or that sort of thing?
There might be that. There's some that come in and go for 2 years to just a nice shot.
McFadden's shot right on goal, saved by the goalkeeper though.
Some come in for 2 years and get their general education requirements done, and then the school doesn't have what they really want to specifically go into, so they'll transfer out there. Boyfriends someplace else, or parents moving to another location, and they want
Could be a whole host of things.
There's just a plethora of them.
But there's a lot of talent out there. If, let's say 3/4 of the returning or the underclassmen come back and play, that match them up with some new faces, and it could be a very good team next year.
Well, again, what we've learned this year is you can have a lot of talent. If the injuries happen, there's not a lot that you can do about it. So not only do we hope that the majority of these young ladies, if not all of them, come back, but that next year they face none of the challenges and injuries that they faced this year.
Shirley Morales-Lawn coming in, and also Winterton. Lily Winterton's received a lot of playing time this year. Lily is a freshman, and Shirley is a sophomore. Gambi trying to chase down the ball, but doesn't get quite to it in time.
I don't know if
steal by McFadden here. Monson was trying to do a give and go to McFadden.
If all the juniors return for the Knights, it's only 3 of them again. So again, a very young team that's out there on the field right now, and still will be, by all rights, a young team next year.
And when you look at those juniors who would then be seniors next year, I know Tatiana is obviously one of them.
We have Tatiana Monson. You'll have Victoria Slade and Valerie Cruz. And Valerie's out now with an injury. So we've seen all 3 of them perform well for the Knights. We've seen all 3 of them have to sit out games because of injuries.
So you see a lot of talent, Mike, that is potentially got at least maybe 2 more years here playing. Gamby, Sorensen, Powell, right on down the line. Hatchett.
Yeah, and
Uri tries to get back in goal. Marymount trying to get a shot off. Great defense by the Knights to knock that away. Never even got to the goalkeeper.
yeah, nice job by the Knights. Able to get back, close down angles. And again, the defense is really fresh. They haven't had to chase anybody in a serious manner for more than 2 or 3 minutes.
You know, it's quite possible a 3-goal lead might be impossible for Marymount to overcome. I know, again, we got the entire second half to go. I just get the sense that a 4th goal would really be a dagger against the Saints. Very tough for them to come from 4 goals behind. And, of course, the Knights would love to get that 4th goal before halftime.
Yeah, the Knights get that 4th goal before halftime. They're going to go into halftime feeling like, hey, anything we do now is right. We can really pour it on. And that's the feeling that you need to have if you're going to be successful in the Capital Conference.
Again, this is our final women's soccer webcast of the year. We've got the men coming up in Game 2. And their final home game of the year coming up next Monday, the 26th. Got 2 more football games, October the 31st and November the 14th. And, Mike, you've got a few more volleyball games, including Saturday.
Saturday we have a volleyball game at 1 o'clock. So a few more games coming up for the fall sports. But the seasons are winding down rather quickly.
Got a real tough stretch here the last few weeks for volleyball. Just the 1 win, I think, in 7 or 8 games. But then again, they've had a lot of injuries too.
Yeah, and once you take one person out on the volleyball team, that really throws a huge monkey wrench into all your plans. So they've done well. They battle really hard, and again, they've put a lot of emphasis on the defensive side. Their offense is really just pretty plain right now, but that's because of lack of numbers. Hopefully they're able to get some extra players in for next year and be able to show what they are capable of doing like they did last year and make it to the Capital Conference tournament.
And the Knights football in the New Jersey Athletic Conference, they got William Patterson coming up on Saturday. Winnable game there for the Knights if they can get their offense going. They've got 2 more home games coming up. And when you look at the D3 college football rankings, there are now 3 New Jersey Athletic Conference teams in the top 25. Salisbury, Rowan, and, of course, Wesley, which is, I believe, what, number 4?
Yes. And who says that we
and Wesley still has to battle Salisbury. They are the 2 undefeated teams in that conference, and I think they'll be meeting in a few weeks in November at Wesley, though.
Yeah, and
now, would you expect, if Wesley were to win that game and stay undefeated, that we might see a second team from the NJAC get in as an at-large team, maybe? Maybe a Salisbury or a Rowan?
Yeah, if you're in the top 20, not the top 25, but if you're in the top 20 and you're not one of the automatic qualifiers, you have a great chance of getting one of those.
So maybe Rowan might have the slightly better chance, being, I think, ranked around 22, and Salisbury's like, I don't know, 23 or 24. And Rowan doesn't have Wesley left on the schedule, so maybe if Rowan could run the table, they could maybe make it as a large team.
They could. If Salisbury beats Wesley, that'll jump them up also. So there's a lot of play that's going on there still.
And, of course, as we mentioned, the Knights have William Patterson coming up on Saturday. They'd like to get their first win of the season against William Patterson. Shot right there, you're right, to make the play. Down to 12 minutes to go to halftime. Knights with a 3-goal lead. Honeyana Monson had the first goal off a penalty kick and had 2 good assists, too. Had an assist to Cottle that led to the first shot, the first penalty kick.
Long pass through to Gamby, see if she can catch up to it.
Gamby.
Oh, nice
make a
job.
move, and she did. Will she get a shot off from the left side? No, she tries to center to Monson. Monson with a couple of defenders around her. Gamby, long shot over. You wonder, instead of centering to Monson there, if she might have been better off, despite the angle, Mike, at taking a shot from the left side, maybe.
Could be, or if Tatiana could have seen to her right, she had a I think that was McFadden coming straight down the middle of the field. So again, they're all trying to still play the way that they've wanted to all season long. Be the person to help your teammates get the better shot, and so I think that's what Jamila was doing.
And how tough is it when you're Jamila out there on the left wing, and you got to make a decision in a heartbeat as to whether you're going to take a shot, if you're going to take a shot, where you're going to angle it to or aim it at, or if you're going to do a centering pass.
Yeah, if you're coming in from one of the wings, you're really at the mercy of the defender and the goalie. So your angle of attack is very small.
Of course, at that stage, Jamila had lost her defender and really only had to worry about the goalkeeper. Powell trying to get it ahead to Jamila, and she does. But the defender with the angle able to ride Jamila off the ball, which you don't see very often. You don't usually see Jamila getting ridden off the ball like that.
No, and you kind of wonder if some of the abuse and pounding that Jamila's taken all season long has kind of got her going, we're up by 3 right now. If I can get to it, I can get to it.
Right, yeah. Sorensen trying to pass someone behind her, but Monson was a little further over to the left. McFadden's got it now. Back to Powell. Powell tries to save it, out of bounds. Last touch by Ann.
Yeah, throw in. But again, it's nice to see the Knights attacking so diligently.
And that was not that far away from maybe being a potential corner kick.
A lot more time in the Knights' offensive end in this first half. The defense has to be so ecstatic, saying, "Oh my gosh, we don't have to chase anything."
Nice pass down to Monson.
Yeah, she was offsides.
Yep, offsides is the call. Knights doing a good job spreading the field a little bit, possessing and passing the ball, Mike, and making sure Marymount's offense doesn't get going.
Yeah, and they're finding the feet of their teammates so well right now. And this is what we were hoping for at the beginning of the season. The Bridgewater game really set the tone for the rest of the year with all the injuries. Oh, great through ball to Gamby.
Marks a shot, and it goes off to the right. Boy, she had the left side to aim at, and she chose the right side, or at least went that way. And Jamila's had a couple of good looks here.
And there's Valerie Cruz. Got her foot out of the boot.
So Valerie's in and Monson's out.
And Jamila will probably, if she watches this, will go back and really be upset that she didn't take 1 or 2 more strides toward the goal.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised she took that shot from that far out, being open.
Nice job by McFadden.
Centers, no one there. Gamby has it now. Gets it over to McFadden. I don't think she was expecting that pass. Out. Powell with the throw in.
Yeah, Powell's so lonely down on the defense, she comes down to throw the ball in. That's how well the Knights have possessed the ball, and again, the defense has to be sitting there thanking the offense for possessing the ball for long stretches at a time. It's going to really make a difference in the second half.
Yeah, Uriah has only faced really 1 or 2 close-in shots, Mike. And right now it's 3-0, and if Jamila Gamby had been letter perfect, we could be talking 4 or 5-0. But a 3-0 lead by the Knights here as we close in on halftime looks pretty good. Lexi Grantham's going to check in for the Knights. 5'6" freshman from Utah. McFadden works it over to Powell on the right side. That pass to Gamby just too far. Knights trying to go on the attack here. Cruz and Gamby working it, but the Saints take it away momentarily. Now Sorensen gets it back.
Well, again, even when the Saints look like they're going to have a breakout or possess the ball for a while, they're falling into some of the trap that the Knights have fell into earlier on in the season of trying to keep the ball on one side of the field. That makes the defense so much tougher to penetrate.
Cruz battling it upfield. Taken away by the Saints as we close in on the 5-minute mark. I believe, Mike, the Knights got their 3 goals in the first 15 minutes.
First 15 minutes.
So we've been scoreless for almost 25 minutes now.
But there's been some great opportunities that the Knights have had.
Camby's had a couple, and the Saints have actually had one. Gamby trying to get there, but the goalkeeper has it.
Now the question is going to be, after halftime, can the Knights come out and play with that same enthusiasm that they had in the first 10 minutes and maybe generate that 4th goal that will really be the dagger, as you say, into the Saints from Marymount?
And again, will they really come out and focus on the offense as opposed to maybe getting a little more conservative, a little more passive, I guess you could say, and just trying to sit back and protect a 3-goal lead, which could be a 3-goal lead at halftime? And I agree, Mike. Probably not. You might want to maybe do that with like 10 minutes to go, but not with 45 minutes to go, maybe. Pass ahead to Gamby, but she's ruled offsides. As you can see, just the offsides call, and then the eventual kick's going to take 20 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, Marymount's in no hurry, which, you're still in the first half, but being down 3, you'd think you'd want to get as many opportunities as possible.
Unless, of course, you're just trying to get to halftime and talk over ways to get those opportunities, if you're Marymount.
That may be.
Well, you're just hoping the men can have this kind of success as that ball hits Powell off look like the forehead, Mike.
Yeah, and she was kind of expecting that. She was pushed her head down to get the ball back down, so great reflexes by Powell.
But wouldn't that be something if here on the 21st we could have a doubleheader sweep, a victory doubleheader sweep?
Oh, both soccer teams would be ecstatic. They may not sleep tonight.
This being our final home doubleheader of the year. Savannah, you're right. We haven't called her name too much in this first half.
And that's a great thing. We like giving credit where credit's due, and Savannah's made a lot of great saves this year, moving from a defender to back to playing in goal because of Rachel Miller's injury. But I'm sure that she doesn't mind too much in this game that she doesn't have to work that hard.
Even where you could say, I guess, the best save of the first half came from Hatchett, a defensive player, and not the goalkeeper. Because it was, inches for Marymount actually having a goal on the board. Now you can see Valerie Cruz kind of laboring out there a little bit. Sorensen and McFadden. Now the Knights are trying to work it up without losing it. Maybe trying to get one more shot before halftime.
Well, the worst thing that killed the momentum would be to give up a goal right now. So that's what the Knights really have to guard against. Keep the ball, possess it, and don't give up a goal.
I can't remember how much time was left in that game against Wesley, but I know we were talking about the Knights going into halftime with the lead, and Wesley scored a goal with just a few minutes to go before halftime?
Yeah, just a few, within 3 minutes of half.
And now we're under a minute to go. The Knights are trying to protect this 3-goal lead. And we'll see if they spend the final 40 seconds or so, Mike, here trying to protect the lead and making sure Marymount doesn't possess the ball, or if they take one last shot at the goal.
Well, it looks like they're trying to build up, maybe to attack right down the middle of the field.
Cruz, shot towards the goal. Easy save for the goalkeeper with 25 seconds to go. Ten seconds to go now. Marymount trying to take one last shot at it. And it goes in with a second to go. Will that count? We'll see. It looks like it beat the horn, Mike. And they allowed a pass to be made. And the shot came and sailed into the goal, seemingly before the horn.
It looks like he's bringing them back out on the field with 1 second left.
So Marymount scores with literally a second on the clock. And it was a good pass, a shot that was perfectly placed and just got over the head of Uri. And the Knights maybe kind of with a defensive lapse in the closing seconds literally of that first half. So it is a halftime lead, Mike, of 3-1, as opposed to 3-0 at halftime.
And that's the one thing that the Knights really didn't want to do is give up that goal. Clear the ball out. Don't try to be cute with it. Just clear it out. Let the seconds tick off. Kick it out of bounds. Do whatever you had to do. The midfielders kind of let the whole thing down.
Halftime score again here from the fields at Southern Virginia University at halftime. It is Southern Virginia 3, Marymount 1. We'll take a little break here and come back for second half action and also a salute to the seniors in just a few minutes, so stay with us. Jim Bresnahan, Mike Harmon back here at the fields at Southern Virginia University. Halftime score, Southern Virginia 3, Marymount 1. Seniors are being honored here on Senior Day, and the first senior being honored, Mike, is Alicia Blackham, a native of Las Vegas, Nevada. In her 4 seasons playing soccer, she has earned 2 career goals, 3 assists, has started 50 of the 67 games played. In her 4 years, she has played as an outside defender for the Knights. In 2014, she recorded 12 shots, including 7 shots on goal, season high of 5 shots against Randolph. Last year, she was named to the CAC All-Academic Team, and Alicia was named to the Provost list in the 2012, 2013, 2014 fall and spring semesters, and was also named to the President's List in 2012 and 2013. She earned a spot on the 2013 USCAA All-Academic Team and was named to the 2013 CAC All-Academic Team. Alicia, majoring in liberal arts, plans on attending physical therapy school after graduation and being escorted today by her parents, Chad and Kathy Blackham.
Next, the Knights will be honoring Jackie Barlow. Jackie's a native from Fruit Heights, Utah, is finishing her 4th season for the Knights. She played as a forward her first 3 seasons and now finishing her soccer career as a midfielder. Barlow started 37 of her 59 career games. After playing 3 seasons, Barlow served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Phoenix, Arizona from 2013 to 2015. Barlow returned to Southern Virginia this season to compete as a senior. Jackie was named to the Provost List in 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2013. She was also named to the President's List in 2010 fall semester, 2011 spring semester, and 2012 fall and spring semesters. She is an art major with a minor in biology and chemistry with an emphasis in pre-med. Jackie is escorted by her former teammate Jade Alexander and Bishop Bill Bradley.
And also being honored today on Senior Day for the Knights will be Zoe Bradshaw from Stevensville, Montana. She has played 4 years for the Knights since her freshman year. She has played in 46 games as a midfielder and defender. Last year she played in 18 games, started in 7 games, adding 11 shots for the Knights, including shots on goal against the University of Valley Forge and Marymount. Earned 1 assist against Christendom College. She was named to the 2013 and 2014 CAC All-Academic Team and to the 2013 USCA All-Academic Team. Now, Zoe was listed on the 2012, 13, and 14 Provost List, and she was named to the 2012 Spring Semester and the 2013 Fall and Spring Semesters President's List. She majors in biology with a minor in chemistry, and today being escorted by her parents, Stuart and Kelly Bradshaw. And Mike, it looks like they're all getting maybe balls signed by the entire team, flowers, plaques, you name it.
Yeah, it's a big deal for these seniors to make it through 4 years. It's just a great stalwart and building block. And finally, we have an honorary senior, Autumn Cox. Autumn is a native of Stanton, California. She played for the Knights in 3 seasons and in 23 matches as a goalkeeper. In those 23 matches, she recorded 40 saves. During her 3 seasons with the team, Autumn was named to the CAC All-Academic Team twice and has been named to Southern Virginia University's Provost List. Autumn forewent her senior season due to her current pregnancy. Autumn married her husband, escorting her this evening in the summer of 2014 and is expected to deliver in December. So there's all our seniors. Obviously, Autumn couldn't be in Court Cox, who is also escorting her this evening in the summer of 2014 and is expected to deliver in December. So there's all our seniors. Obviously, Autumn couldn't be playing this season, but those young ladies really did a lot for the Knights program. We're building blocks for them, and they will be sorely missed.
And you see Court Cox there. We talked about health, I guess, this season, and the men's soccer team has had problems with their health as well.
Exactly. So, it's great to see them out there being happy and
big surprise, Zoe Bradshaw's a bundle of energy.
Yeah. So hopefully this energy that we see now and saw in the first 10 minutes of the first half can continue on into second half, and the Knights can score a few extra goals, really put this game out of reach.
Again, halftime score here. Knights 3, Marymount 1. We'll take a little break and come back for the second half in just a few minutes. Second half getting ready to start here from the fields at Southern Virginia University. Jim Bresnahan, Mike Harmon again with you. Ready for second half action after the Knights took a 3-goal lead early, Mike, in the first 10 to 15 minutes of that first half, and then gave up a goal to Marymount literally with 2 seconds to go right before halftime.
Yeah, that's got to really play into the confidence of Marymount. Again, maybe just falling asleep at the wheel. All the Knights did in that last 10 seconds. But we have some stats here. We have 5 shots on goals for the Knights, 4 for the Marymount Saints, 10 total shots for the Knights, 6 for the Saints. Corner kicks, though, the Knights really are dominating in that, 4-0, and really, when all said and done, it's a 3-1 game.
And the Knights got their, again, 3 goals in the first 15 minutes from Tatiana Monson, Jackie Barlow, Emily McFadden, Kirsten Campbell was able to score the 1 goal for Marymount, and again, it came with just 2 seconds to go until halftime.
And that was a great shot. She just put it right over the top of Savannah.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk about it too much. It just looked to me like the Knights defensively maybe kind of let down, thinking the clock was going to run out, and literally, again, with 2 seconds to go, they got that shot off. And, boy, you couldn't ask for a better shot if you're a Marymount fan. It sailed perfectly just over the head of your eye and just into the upper corner of the goal.
It looks like she even started to come out thinking that the half was going to be over and got caught a little bit out of position.
And, by the way, Savannah had in that first half 2 saves. The goalkeeper for Marymount, Westmark, had a couple of saves, and there was a team save. And, then, of course, that was by Lauren Hatchett, I believe, and we ran into her dad, I believe, at halftime here.
Yeah, and that may be one of the plays of the game right there. If Marymount were to score at that juncture, I don't know if the Knights would have gone ahead and got this 3-goal lead.
And glad to hear that the Hatchets like to listen and watch the webcast.
Yeah, hopefully we do a great job. And he came in to thank us. We had to tell him who was the real
star
brains
of the show
behind all of the production, Craig Reese. And if you like
and his
what
loyal
you see,
dog Indy. Just a great centering pass there, but it looked like Cottle was just a step slow getting to where the ball was. If she arrives a step faster, gets there a step faster, that's an easy goal for the Knights there, Mike.
And Tatiana put a lot of pace on the ball, thinking that maybe that had to go through extremely fast there.
So, Mike, at this stage, how important is this next goal going to be as to who scores it? If the Knights score, they've got a 3-goal lead again. If Marymount gets the goal, suddenly it's a 1-goal game.
Yeah, and then the Knights really start to look like they may tighten up if that happens.
Knights are trying to apply the pressure to get that 4th goal.
Offsides. We got an offsides call, guys.
Play is continuing. Nobody's whistling it dead, Mike.
Finally, we've got it. We saw it out of the corner of our frame here. I don't know what the referee in the middle of the field was looking at, but the linesman had his flag up early.
So if the Knights had scored in that 5 or 10 second flurry,
been erased.
So it's 3-1. Knights on top here by 2. And we asked a question going into halftime. We'll ask it now, Mike. So the Knights with this 2-goal lead, some might say, hey, let's go back and we'll really focus on the defense. Others will say, let's charge after them with the offense.
Well, hopefully we can see some offensive flurries, get some rhythm, and keep the ball. Just possess the ball. Let the defense rest. Not put a lot of pressure on Savannah Uri.
Don't forget this is a doubleheader today, so coming up around 7:30 tonight, we will have the men's contest, as they'll be taking on a Marymount team that'll come in with a record of 5-8-1, 1-4-1 in the Capital Conference. And of course, the men have really struggled here recently. 1-13 overall, 0-5 in the Capital Conference, and on an 8-game losing streak.
And we'll see more of people out that Coach Patino was going to be counting on to help the team this year. We talked about Josh Smith earlier. Court Cox is out with a broken foot.
Yeah, we saw him at halftime with his wife.
And so that just really puts the Knights, again, further behind the 8-ball. But if they can capture some of this magic that the ladies have shown coming out and getting a 3-goal flurry, they could pull off the upset and beat Marymount. So
you might be depending if you can keep certain players healthy and get them out there for a lot of minutes, maybe Mullaba, Munoz, and perhaps Ramirez.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a lot of work. Smedley, I don't know if he's going to be available for tonight. Drebay, is he going to play as a defenseman, or is he going to be up as an attacker and a striker? A lot of questions, and we just have to wait and see how Coach Patino wants to play it.
Cade Lowe, another one.
Cade Lowe.
I think at the 2-0 loss to Harrisburg, I think he was maybe their top offensive threat, had a couple of shots on goal. And, of course, he had that fantastic goal that was scored earlier in the season against Roanoke College. Here, the women holding on to this 3-1 lead. Marymount, though, scoring right before halftime, trying to get their second goal of the game and trying to make it a one-goal game. Knights are trying to get that offense going, which they really had going in the first 10 to 15 minutes.
I know another goal would make them breathe a whole lot easier. Great through ball to Nakamoto.
Nice pass back to the middle to Barlow. Over to Cottle, left side. Will she get the shot off? She does, but it's kind of a weak shot and an easy save for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and I think she's trying to more center that to Sorensen coming through the middle there. But great build-up by the Knights. I started to get a little excited when you see those type of passes happen and the
that
offense.
Last one, though, Cottle, as you mentioned, she was kind of in no man's land. She was at a tough angle for a shot and very deep for a centering pass, too. Nice pass, though, to Monson. Ahead to the right side. Fires! Nice block by the goalkeeper.
But it earned the Knights another corner kick.
Westmark making the play, and the Knights will have, I believe, their 5th corner kick today. If nothing else, even if you want to stay on the offense, Mike, I would think whenever you got the chance, you go a little slower and take some few seconds off the clock here and there. Towards the middle. Cottle with the header, and it's just off to the left. Good to see the Knights, though, taking advantage of these corner kicks.
Yeah, they've really put a lot of pressure on the defense of the Saints.
Women's soccer looking for their 4th victory of the season today. 3 wins so far, all home victories. Knights have never won on the road this season. They'll have 2 more chances coming up on the 24th at York and the 27th at Frostburg.
And then the guys haven't won at home yet. They have tonight and they have Monday to try to break that streak.
And they haven't won since they only won their first game of the year back in September against Ferrum. And that was just their one and only victory this season. They've lost 8 in a row.
And we got a foul on Marymount. Sorensen will bring it up to start. Oh, she's going to lay it off. It looks like Hatchett's going to start the ball. Little chip in.
Pulliam over to Sorensen. And now McFadden with it right side.
Nice job playing it off the defender. Throw in now for the Knights. Quick throw in by Blackham.
Trying to get it to McFadden on the right side. Knights would like to get a corner kick out of this. Towards the goal, and the goalkeeper makes the play. Westmark.
Nice long kick by Westmark down the field.
Marymount really had 2 good chances in the first half. Hatchett was able to stop a goal herself after Uri blocked the shot, and Hatchett prevented the ball from going across the line, totally across. And then, of course, Marymount able to score in the closing seconds right before halftime. We'll see how big of a goal that is, depending on who scores first, if anybody scores, obviously, Mike, here in the second half.
Yeah, it looks like both teams have kind of really settled in, understanding what the other team wants to do to try to attack. Lauren Hatchett's dad came over, and we were talking to him and congratulated him for Lauren's great save, and he put on his coaching hat and said, well, Lauren should have never let him get behind her anyway. But again, great play by Lauren, able to chase the ball down, never giving up on it, not letting the ball come across the plane, and that could have been a huge difference maker in the game.
Quick update on baseball. Toronto's exploded out to a nice lead now in Game 5. Even if they win this game, they're up, I think, 5-0, Mike, on Kansas City in Game 5 of the ALCS. KC still has 2 home games coming up, and all they would have to do is win one of them. So still Toronto in a big hole.
In a major hole.
And a major hole, needless to say, for the Cubs, who are hoping to really get that Back to the Future prediction going. But, boy, you know, only one other team, I think, in baseball history has come from behind, from 3-0 behind to win a series. So it looks pretty good for the Mets and the Royals right now.
A little bit of contact there.
That's trying to make sure there is no breakaway here for Marymount. Knights would really like to see this second half mirror the first half, Mike, in that the majority of the first half was played on the Marymount side of the field.
With a lot of pressure and a lot of opportunities for shots.
McFadden's trying to center over to Sorensen, knocked away by a defender. Monson trying to get in there. Ball booted away by the Saints.
Yeah, Sorensen's a very crafty player. Great with her ball handling. I don't know though if you'd want to be trying to center her to the ball for her to try to go up for a hitter with her only being about 5'5".
No, you probably would prefer Jamila Gambi out there for that at 5'9".
Yeah, and I gave Sierra about 3 inches.
Yeah, I figured you did.
5'2".
She's a battler, but yeah, not really projecting her to be a center on a basketball team, we'll say.
And it looks like we may have a yellow card here.
Push from behind, yep.
I'd like to see Sierra jump up now. And she'll mix it up with the best of them, Sierra Sorensen. She'll get in there and mix it up with the best of them. And, again, great foot skills. Just maybe not the best target for a hitter.
Knights just want to make sure, if nothing else in the second half, don't let anybody get behind them. Don't let a pass get behind them, Mike, defensively. You kind of figure if you can avoid that, you got a really good chance here in the second half to, if nothing else, hold on to this 2-goal lead.
And as we played about, 13 minutes now, really haven't let anything get through to really press Savannah Uri.
That's trying to set up a pass. Taken away, though.
Well, if you're going to give up a pass, if you're going to make an error on your passing, that's the place to make it out on the wings. You don't want to make that error down the middle of the field.
Marymount trying to work it closer to the right side. Uri will stay at the goal, and it's knocked out by Nakamoto.
Yeah, I believe this will be the first corner kick by Marymount.
I think Southern Virginia's had 5. This will be the first for Marymount. Seconds ticking off the clock as Marymount sets up this corner kick from the right side. They're taking about 15 or 20 seconds off.
They're trying to get a sub in or what?
Heard a whistle blow. Now the clock has stopped.
The referee went over to check on something.
Now it looks like we're ready to go. Corner kick towards the middle. Marymount strikes it, but it's too high.
Maybe the clock was running too long. And he wanted to take a few seconds off, or?
The ball accidentally rolled into the goal, and Uriah will have to get rid of that ball.
And you don't mind taking a few seconds off every once in a while on these kicks or throw-ins. Shorten the game a little bit without really trying to go into stall mode.
It looked like 30 to 40 seconds evaporated, more or less. And as we get a little deeper into the second half, you get down around the 10 or 15 mark, and then you really start paying attention to those seconds.
Oh, great pass by Sorensen.
Well, the goalkeeper out there to stop it from being a play for Monson to make.
But still, now you're starting to make the goalie have to make a lot of decisions. They only want to make one decision at a time and not have a whole options.
Looks like Gambee and Powell are getting ready to check in here. Knights will get some fresh legs out there in Gambee.
And talk about some people that can put pressure on the defense. Gambee can, and we've also seen Powell be able to bring it up the side or streak down the side from her defender's position and cause a lot of havoc.
And we'll see if that jump starts the Knights' offense here in the second half, as we are down to almost 30 minutes left with a 2-goal lead for the Knights. Kind of like the first half. Oh, nice pass. Left side to Cottle. Fires the shot, and it's knocked away, but the Gambee is there, and she scores.
Great job again by putting 2 extra offensive players on the doorstep. Ball bounces off of Westmark's hands. Great shot by Cottle. Gambee's there to clean it up. Oh, did they call an offsides?
Apparently so. Hard to believe. I didn't really think that was going to be on offsides. I thought it was going to be a simple rebound. But no goal was the ruling, I guess, and it stays a 2-goal margin. Huge call there, Mike. It really looked to me like it was just a good rebound.
Really? I would like to know who the offsides call was on.
And why. Let's hope that doesn't factor into the final result as far as being a big decision as to whether the Knights win this game or not with a 2-goal lead. High shot and over.
Yeah, the only one that you could even think maybe they called it on would have been Monson on the far side, but off a rebound, there's not a lot you can do.
And Jamila's had now 3 good chances at scoring goals, and you got to be wondering, am I going to get a goal today? Had 2 good looks at shots, couldn't get it to go. On the third one, she gets it to go, and an offside's apparently called. Centering pass, Powell there to knock it away. Knights have 6 shots on goal now, 4 shots on goal for Marymount.
Well, this is what you don't want to see is the defense get tested right now. You'd like for them to maintain their pressure on the Marymount's defense.
Boy, it's a 3-1 game, Mike, and this could easily be 5 or 6-0 Southern Virginia. But you got to deal with what you got, and the Knights are going to have to try to protect this 2-goal lead in the final 27 minutes.
Well, it could be that, or it could be maybe a 1-1 game if that shot by Marymount that Hatchett was able to get back and stop. That could have changed it going against the Knights. So, be happy that we're up by 2. What could have been and what should have been, that's why you play the game.
And going forward, it's just a matter of just trying to keep Marymount off the board in these final 27 minutes. Kick down to Gambee.
Oh,
just barely.
Just a half a step.
Goalkeeper didn't seem too worried about Gambee coming at her. Able to get there just in time to make the play. Boy, Jamila really has had some close calls today for getting a goal or multiple goals maybe.
Like
boy, it looked like a knee taken
right in the kidney area
by Powell. It looked like Aaron Harris, 5'10" senior for Marymount. Nakamoto, I think, actually was the one who took it. It looks like she's up and hopefully going to be okay here.
She'll feel that in the morning.
Long kick. Just skips past to the left side after Pulliam's shot.
Again, Coach Garlock would be very happy if the ball would stay on this side of midfield.
Only for the next 25 minutes.
Only for the next 25 minutes.
Well, 36 seconds too.
Yeah, we
got to add those two after that goal came with just 2 seconds to go to halftime.
Let's be even more safe. How about 25 minutes and 45 seconds now? Let's just keep it on this side.
MB ahead to Monson, a little too far. Westmark right there to make the play.
Shirley tried to get it through to Gamby.
Sorensen tries to get it ahead, but it's knocked away by the Knights.
You know, what you don't want is Jamila to start to get frustrated and get down on herself. She's had a lot of good looks.
Here's another one.
It'll go in.
Can be.
Oh,
nice
layoff
to Monson, and she scores. Little 2-on-1 action, and really an unselfish play there by Gamby, not trying to get it past the goalkeeper, but what a pass to Monson, who has her second goal of the game. Tremendous. And again, an unselfish play.
Very, very much so by Jamila. And again, just a great athletic move to be able to get the pass over. Used her right foot, jumped off her left foot, used her right foot on the outside part to just kind of punch it past.
I don't know if that was a last-second decision or if that was something she planned from the outside to kind of draw the goalkeeper even closer to her and then a little tap pass to the right.
Yeah, if you ask Jamila, she's going to tell you that she planned that all along.
Or if that was just one of those deals where you look and say, I really don't have the shot. Hey, look, there's Tatiana over on the right. Sorensen tries to center, knocked away. That was a huge goal, Mike. When you look at it from the team standpoint, that turns a 2-goal lead into a 3-goal lead with just 24 minutes to go, and that really is a big difference maker.
It is, and you know that Marymount was starting to think and feel good about themselves after that we'll just call it his last second goal in the first half.
That and another goal was wiped away by an offsides call for the Knights. Marymount was thinking, hey, let's go on offense. We'll get it down to a 1-goal game, and now suddenly it's 3 goals again.
And you'd like to see the Knights be able to score one more goal, make it the most goals they've scored in the season. I'm sure that's something that they would really enjoy after all the injuries and stuff that they've had to really kind of bear this whole season.
Even at this stage, Mike, their 3 victories this season, all 1-goal games. So this is kind of different for them, having a 3-goal advantage here in the second half. They had the relatively decent lead against Averett, but that was in the first half. I'm not sure they've had a 3-goal lead.
No, not in
a
the second
2-goal
half.
lead in the second half.
Not at all. And it's great to see them able to really start to put things together. I know Coach Grawat's going to be happy with the win if the Knights can continue on and get that win.
Nice header pass from Gamby over to Cottle. Cottle centering pass to Monson. Spins, shoots off the goalkeeper. Was that off the goalkeeper?
Off
or was
the
that
goalkeeper
off the bar?
and off the bar.
Okay, both. And how about the passing done on that play? Gamby with the header pass. Cottle with the pass. Didn't look like she could possibly get it back to the middle, and did to Monson. And then Monson with a spin move to get that shot off.
Oh, and that'd have been
that might have been the best
nice
goal of the
trick.
season. That'd have been right up there with the men's goal against Roanoke College by Kate Lowe, as far as just the sheer beauty of passing. And another corner kick coming up here for the Knights. So suddenly, Mike, all the energy back with Southern Virginia. Monson tried a little header, but couldn't get it over to Sorensen. Now Marymount trying for a breakout. And Cammie Miller ran into the Saints player. Who goes down hard.
And Cammy will get her yellow card. Just misplayed the ball a little bit. If she was able to go ahead and get her foot on that ball, there'd have been no call.
Good to see the Saint player come up without any injuries.
Yeah, that's Chloe McAuliffe, and she's their leading goal scorer. Well, actually, Kirsten Campbell is tied her by getting that first half goal. So both of them have scored 7 goals in this half, or in their season.
And refresh my memory here, Mike. Monson now with 2 goals today for the season. What's that bring her to? 3 or 4 thereabouts?
Yeah.
And of course, she had 17 last year. Gamby trying to go on a breakout, lost the ball, but there's Sorensen right behind her. So it's good to see Tatiana with some good plays here. Not just scoring goals, but she's had some nice passes too.
She has, and it's been a whole team effort.
Monson assisted on McFadden's goal, the 3rd goal of the game. And Tatiana has scored the 1st and 4th goals. And had a nice assist, Mike, to Cottle on the 1st goal, setting up the 1st goal, the penalty kick.
Yeah, that was a great job, and Cottle just did a fantastic job. If she was able to stay up, not get pushed, she would have scored the 1st goal.
Just seconds away from going under the 20-minute mark with the Knights on top here, 4-1. Trying to pick up their 4th win of the season and trying to get their first capital victory of the season. Can be towards the goal, and the Westmark right there to make the easy save.
Well, there's only been one time that Marymount's been able to score multiple goals. It's a 4-1 win against, it could be bad news.
Centering pass, but knocked out of there, looked like by Ann Powell, at least temporarily. Shot towards the goal, and Uri knocks it away.
Yeah, they scored 4 goals against Washington Adventist back in September. They've scored 3 goals in a loss to Penn State Harrisburg. Other than that, it's either been 1 or
Ben
0.
scored 3 against Gallaudet. But as you mentioned, they have struggled scoring goals themselves.
So a 3-goal lead with 18 minutes, 50 seconds left could be really tough for them to come back from.
Corner kick, left side, knocked away by the Knights. You can see the Knights have an 8-5 shots on goal advantage and a 6-2 corner kicks advantage. They still got 18 minutes to go in this one, Mike, but if this lead holds up and the Knights pick up their 4th win of the year, then you start thinking, hey, winning streak at York on Saturday.
Yeah.
York's decent, but not an overwhelming record, I don't believe, so far this season. Overall, we're in the Capital Conference.
No, overall they're 4-9. In the Capital, they're 2-4. They've beat Marymount, and I think they've beat Penn State Harrisburg. So, they are a team that the Knights could match up with really well.
Over the top pass. Oh, Uri comes out and makes the play. Nice header by Kimmy Miller to knock it away a little bit, and then the kick goes off to the left.
The one thing the Knights can't do is just get caught ball watching and let someone get by them as the pass is released, and we saw it happen right there. That will drive Coach Gravrock bonkers over on the sidelines.
Yeah, he'd like to see the last 17 minutes played on the Marymount side of the field, I'm sure. And Marymount keeps it right in. Trying to set up a shot from the middle, and it's a misfire by Harris. And she just missed the ball, Mike.
Yeah, again, going with the left foot, probably not the most dominant foot there is, trying to rush it a little bit. We've seen multiple players do that over the season.
Final home game of this season for the women. They had 3 seniors honored at halftime. 4 folks overall honored at halftime.
And even though this is senior day, we will not be doing anything for the men because they have no seniors.
And that is their next to last home game, not their final home game. The makeup game against Salisbury on Monday.
Yeah, they would have. Excuse me. If they would have had seniors, they would have done it tonight.
Right. But right now, Mike, either today or perhaps next Monday against Salisbury, the men just want to get that first home victory. I know they would like to win one of the 2 games left on their home part of the schedule. And when you look at the 2 games they've got remaining, I would imagine when you look at the overall records, Salisbury, Marymount, Salisbury's men's team probably has a superior record to Marymount. Marymount coming in with a record overall of 5-8-1, 1-4 in one of the Capital Conference. And here's a breakaway shot and off to the left again. But again, a chance for Marymount.
And the defenders really have to start paying attention now. Make sure nothing gets by you. Your job is to not help the team score goals. Now, your team has scored 4 goals. It's the most they've scored or tied for all season long.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to keep the other team from getting cheap, easy goals.
Can be trying to reach that ball before it goes out. She does. Has the nice assist for goal number 4. Here's a shot to the right side. Header attempt, and it goes off and out of bounds.
Yeah, Salisbury for the men, they'll be coming in. Right now they're at 4-0-1 in the Capital Conference, 9-3-1 overall.
And they got a chance to finish essentially undefeated in the conference standings.
They do. Marymount, like you said, comes in 1-4-1, 5-8-1 overall. If the women go ahead and finish this game out, win it, the men are going to want to win tonight also to get that doubleheader win.
They've got an 8-game losing streak to deal with, the lack of offense, and, of course, something all season long they've had to deal with, these injuries, the health of the team.
And we're going to see players that are going to be sitting over on the side that Coach Patino would really rather see out on the field.
Marymount's got it, but for Marymount's purposes, valuable seconds ticking off the clock here in the second half. Marymount's had its own problems trying to keep possession of the ball, Mike. And that's not a good thing when you're down by 3.
No, some of their best plays have been those long through balls that the Knights have not covered very well. See if Jamila can chase this down.
She's knocked off the ball. Still gets a shot towards the goal.
You know, anytime you see a defender extend their arm, I really wish the referee would call that.
Definitely gets an advantage for the defender. Well, we're starting in that area now where we go from day game to night game.
And the temperature starts to drop rapidly.
Yeah, we've seen it the last couple of weeks where we've gone from, around 70 degrees or so. Probably, I guess, by the end of the second game into the 40s, or certainly the low 50s.
And that can take a toll on the body. But also, now you're going to start to get condensation out on the field a little bit, too. So that's
I noticed you didn't bring your hot chocolate maker.
Yeah, it was warm when I got here today. I didn't plan very well.
It's a second game utensil.
That's a nice backheel pass by Cottle.
Just a little too far for Jamila to get to. I wonder if Nakamoto is still feeling that kick to the kidney area. Here comes Zoe Bradshaw and Jackie Barlow back into the game. The two of the three seniors.
Alicia Blackham also
and
came
Alicia
in.
Blackham, so all the seniors who were honored at halftime.
And they'll probably
Active
finish
players,
this game out.
Because we did have that fourth person, Courtney Cox's wife.
Yeah, Autumn Cox.
Yeah, honored as well. But you'd love to see one of the seniors score the fifth goal, wouldn't you?
That'd be great. You know, Jackie Barlow scored the second goal, so.
Yep. Maybe have Zoe get in there, or Alicia.
I don't know if Alicia would know what to do when she scored.
I'm sure she could figure it out.
She's been back on the defense so long that, you know, she's just.
Actually, I was just thinking from maybe a theatrical performance, Zoe, if Zoe would just score. Don't want her doing any acrobatics that might, result in another injury, but.
Well, we may see some type of
nice through pass there, but Barlow not able to get there.
We may see a theatrical production if Tatiana scores another one and gets her hat trick. From what I understand, each player has a specific dance they do if they score 3 goals in a game.
Well, now I really want to go back to that Avery game and see what Jamila or perhaps McFadden would have done, especially Jamila.
Oh,
the way she dances. I wonder what her hat trick dance is.
That would be something to behold.
Well, you should ask her sometime what her hat trick dance is.
I don't know if she plans
these are like ad libs or scripted?
Well, no, there's some of them that put a lot of thought into it.
They script these ahead of time, do
yes, some of them that don't have the imagination that Jamila has. I think she would just go with the spur of the moment, how she's feeling.
Okay.
And we've seen her feel really good during
warm-ups
and in between in between halves and also.
Well, it looks like Taniana's got 10 minutes to work with to get a third goal. And that's about the same deal for Marymount. They're down by 3, and they got 10 minutes to go.
Nice challenge by Ann Powell.
Blackham getting back there to make the play defensively.
And now, Jimmy, may see a little bit more conservative play by the Knights. Not sending so many people forward, but making sure that they're all back, guarding against any type of pass that could get through.
And again, we still have a little over 9 minutes to go, Mike, but I'm sure Coach Graurock to this point has to be pleased. After that goal that came with just 2 seconds before halftime, the Knights have not allowed any goals in essentially 36 minutes.
And what marvelous restraint that he had. I don't know how soccer coaches do it. They don't show a lot of outward emotion. I know if that would have happened and I was on the sideline, there would have been
basketball.
There would have been some theatrics.
Marymount trying to work for a shot here in the closing minutes. Knights do a good job clearing it away. Cottle ahead.
You can see how far they're trying to push Jackie Barlow in front there. Hopefully some type of counterattack can catch her going forward and give her another chance on goal.
Knights have to clear this. It goes off of Hatchett. Kind of excuse me there, Block Mike, but the Knights are able to dodge the bullet that time.
Again, you don't clear the ball on the ground going through the middle of the field. Clear it out to the sidelines. I thought that was something that we learned earlier in the season.
Here's Winterton making a play. Knocked away by Marymount, knocked right back to the Knights. Blackham with it.
Blackham trying to make a connection with Barlow. Jackie's just fearless. Just come back from a broken nose. Goes in there, tries to head the ball off the foot of the goalie.
Carmel Hardy going to check in for Savannah Uriah goal. Haven't seen Carmel in some time at goal.
No, she's, again, got thrown into the fire at the very beginning of the season when Rachel Miller went down. Not something that Coach Garlick wanted to do. Wanted to try to bring her along, let her get her feet wet in a lot of practice situations against these players that the Knights have. But it's good to see that she stuck with it and getting some playing time now. And Monson's offsides.
When you look at these last two games, Mike, the road games at York and Frostburg, is this something where you just play to win and come out with your best lineup, or do you do some experimenting when you look ahead to next season, with experimenting with an eye towards next season, I guess, in these final two road games?
You definitely play to win. I'm sure that Coach Garlock will stick with some of the rotations that we've seen tonight.
Patchett trying to get out of there with the ball.
Nice job. But he's going to play to win just because he believes that that's what his team deserves, is them putting out the best players and lineup that can help the team be most successful. Now
it's 6 minutes to go now.
Yeah, really crunch time now for Marymount.
They would need to average a goal every 2 minutes to try to catch up now.
And now any type of throw-in or free kick that the Knights have, expect them to take at least 10 seconds off the clock before they really start to approach.
So the Knights would like to get that fifth goal, the most goals ever scored by the Knights in this season, but if nothing else,
yeah, the win's number one.
At this point, it would not only be their fourth win, but it would be their biggest margin of the season, a 3-goal margin. And their first 3 victories, their only other victories this season, were all 1-goal games.
And even though they got a 3-goal lead right now, you know the coaching staff is over there on pins and needles.
I don't think you kind of rest until maybe the 30-second mark as far as just a goal being scored. Exactly. Well, as we saw in the first half, that came with 2 seconds to go. So maybe until the clock sounds, you don't rest.
Well, I know the coaching staff has to be feeling really satisfied now. They've persevered. They've worked through multiple lineups and multiple rotations. You have Coach Garrock and his assistants, Coach Randy Klein and Coach Cox.
And with that goal coming with just 2 seconds till halftime, the way the Knights defensively just kept up the pressure here in the second half.
Yeah, and again, you have to really start at the top with the coaching staff. They've preached all year long, you know, we're not as bad as our record is. We just had a lot of unfortunate circumstances, and they've kept a positive note throughout the whole year, and you can see the Knights are starting to reap some benefits now.
It will be a test, though, Mike, when they go on the road for these final 2 games, especially I would think the York game coming up on Saturday, given the fact that the Knights have not won away from home this season. They want to try to maybe get that 5th or 6th victory of the season. And if they have lost games badly, it's generally speaking been the road games, not the home games.
And here they go.
The game against Harrisburg, obviously a perfect example, is Knights will make some substitutions, and the seniors get a chance to be hugged on their way out of the field, back to the bench.
Yeah, they get their standing ovation. Again, now the Knights have to have a lot of confidence, though, going into those 2 road games. They know that they can score goals. They know that they can defend goals from being scored. They understand each other. And, again, this is what we envisioned for this team at the beginning of the season. Just all the injuries didn't allow it to really gel.
But when you look at the Capital Conference, the 2 road games they've had, those were really their worst losses of the year. 7-1 to St. Mary's, and then this past weekend 8-0 to Harrisburg. And that would be another reason to say if they can go on the road Saturday to York and, first of all, play well, as opposed to St. Mary's or Harrisburg, and maybe pick up that first road victory of the year.
That would just be phenomenal for them. I know that a win always washes away some of the disappointment of your losses and maybe a season gone awry. 2 wins in a row really make things start to look a lot brighter.
And it would be great to have those 2 wins in a row heading into that final game of the year against Frostburg.
Now, if you can finish out this game and win it, if you can go up to York and win that one, now you're coming in with so much more confidence. 1, you scored multiple goals in a game. 2, you won on the road against a Capital Athletic Conference foe.
3, you won back-to-back games.
Back-to-back games, something you hadn't done in all season.
Yeah.
So, a lot of things good can happen from this one game.
Knights trying to finish off Marymount here in the final 2.5 minutes. And a reminder, we will have the men's contest against Marymount coming up roughly around 7:30 tonight. Powell trying to make the play. Ball just off to the right of the goal.
Yeah, Lauren really needs to take her time now. Take about 10 seconds off the clock.
Take as much time as you possibly can have.
Yeah, we won't be giving up any
Yeah,
hope
look
of another goal being scored because we saw it happen with 2 seconds left.
How about Savannah Uri playing on the field but not as the goalkeeper?
I know that makes her very happy and very excited.
Maybe on the road, but I don't think we've seen her playing from a defensive standpoint, seen her playing any position but goalkeeper this year here at home.
Bridgewater, she played.
Right.
But after Rachel Miller went down, it was all goalkeeper.
And Savannah with a rare chance to go on offense, huh? And the pass awry there for the Knights. And they had a great look at it, Mike, at the numbers.
Yeah, not enough pace on the ball coming through.
Carmel's going to have to come out for this one, and she gets there.
And then Savannah had way too many options. She didn't know really what she wanted to do. She had Monson to her right. She had Gamby to her left, both of them wide open, and she just really didn't make the choice quick enough.
Knights were able to knock the ball away from the goal with 50 seconds to go. Good play there by Cottle to knock it away momentarily. Winterton goes after it, gets it.
You know, and we have to really go back to that play that the pass from Monson to Cottle able to hold off long enough to draw the foul. That really started the whole thing.
Monson and Gamby had a give-and-go attempt there, but pass not able to get through. Doesn't look like Taniana's going to get that hat trick.
I think that she'll probably just be very happy with the win right now.
I would imagine so.
Just as all of them, you can see them start jumping up and down on the sidelines there. The coaching staff standing up. Great win for the Knights.
So the Knights are going to wrap up a 4-1 victory, Mike, here on senior night. And with the victory, the Knights improved to 4-12 overall and 1-6 in the conference. Big victory tonight for the Knights here on Senior Day.
It was a huge victory for the Knights, not only for the seniors to play well for them, but to play well for themselves as a team, knowing that, you know, last year they had a great attack on trying to get into the Capital Conference tournament. This year things just didn't gel for them with all the injuries, but being able to see themselves attack and play this well, it really bodes well for them going in on Saturday.
Then you see one of the Knights who was doing a lot of the congratulating there, Rachel Miller. I'm sure she really would have loved to have been out there this season, Mike.
Yeah, that's just very unfortunate. We were really high on her as a goalkeeper for the Knights after seeing some spectacular play in that one game that she's able to play against Bridgewater.
So, Mike, again, a couple of goals by Taniana Monson. Jackie Barlow had a goal, McFadden had a goal, and the Knights get a nice 4-1 victory over Marymount. And Savannah Uri and some great defense kept Marymount scoreless here in the second half.
Yeah, just an overall great win for the Knights. Probably the best we've seen them play on both sides of the ball together since we started broadcasting this season.
So a big victory here in the first game of this doubleheader for the women's soccer team for the Knights as Southern Virginia beats Marymount. Final score again, 4-1 Knights. They're a winner here on Senior Day. We will have the men's contest coming up in about 30 to 40 minutes, around 7:30 tonight, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Final score again, Southern Virginia 4 and Marymount 1 in women's soccer. We'll take a little break, and again, stay tuned in just a few minutes for second game action men's soccer coming up later this evening.